Um, the other thing that was very weird, I when I was living in the homeless shelter, I was trying to find an apartment, and I went to this one apartment complex, and there was this apartment manager looked again almost identical, but not quite. His hair was a different color, but he looked almost identical to the lead actor in that same play that I was talking about, how my supervisor looked identical to the director of this one play I was in. My apartment manager looked identical, almost identical to um, the lead actor that was in that play with me. Um, Except his hair was a different color, and he had a kind of a weird name, but I don't I don't think I should tell you his name, although part of me thinks I should tell you the name because it was weird. I'm not sure if I should tell you the name. I don't think I'm going to. But it was an unusual name. It was a Celtic name, and he kept saying about talking about how he was Celtic, and for some reason he kept telling me that. And I remember having this car, and he was an artist also. I mean, he would sit outside his house and play guitar, and he used to say, "You should come over and we should jam together." And I was like, "Yeah, okay," but I never did, and I was just kind of like wondering what the deal was with him, because he looked so similar to that guy that I had known before in California, and I was in a totally different state by this time. So I was just very much like, I don't know what the deal is with that dude. Um, and then this one day I went down, and he did like a special, he signed like a month to month lease with me, and he wasn't supposed to do that because I found out later it was supposed to be a year lease, but it wasn't. It was a month to month. And when I went to move out of that apartment, a couple months later, they were like really upset. He wasn't even there. He somehow disappeared and was gone. And the other people that were there were like upset, like really upset when they saw my contract, and they were like, "What? 2-month contract? We don't even do that." And they were really upset that I had been signed a 2-month contract because that wasn't supposed to happen. But I was glad because I wanted to get out of there because there was really weird stuff going on. But anyway, here's something really weird. I was down in the office, the apartment office manager. He was apartment manager, and I was down there, and there was somebody else there, and I was just sitting there for some reason. I don't remember what I was there for, but he was just kind of talking to me, and he said something really weird. He asked me who won the Civil War. And I was like, the North. You know what I mean? Just like, I don't know. I mean, the North, right? And then he just looked away, and he just dropped the conversation right there, and then just didn't even say anything. But I always thought that was really weird. Like, why would you ask someone who won the Civil War? You know what I mean? All right, moving on. Just chalked it up to weirdness because there had been a lot of weirdness. There was something else, though. There's something else I totally forgot to tell you. Before that town, the place that I was in where I lived in the guest house, there was another guy that showed up into my life. Now this, I can't even believe I forgot this, because this is probably the most important piece of information from that time in my life. Can't believe I forgot it. This guy gets a job at the restaurant that I was working at. And he let me know right away who he was, that he knew who I was. But at the time, I didn't know about gang stalking, and so I was just kind of like, it sounds really stupid, but I thought he was an angel. And I actually asked him if he was an angel because he looked identical, almost identical to another guy that I had known in Los Angeles who was just this really super nice guy. And he was a friend of mine. And he was probably like my best friend. And this other guy that showed up at this other town that I had moved to after I left last night, he looks identical to that guy, except his skin color was different, and his eye color was different, and his hair color was different. But other than that, he looks identical to that dude. I mean, the same height, the same facial structure, everything. He looked the same. But his personality was different, and his hair and his eye and his skin was different. He had two friends that he hung out with, and this one day we were sitting in the bar area, and I didn't drink. I was just like hanging out there. We were watching TV, and we were sitting there, and all of a sudden on the TV in the bar area of the restaurant comes on, and it starts showing this guy that I was dating that I told you about. Remember the guy that I told you about? And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, this happened before. Okay. I apologize that this is all disheveled. Like I said, I did not prepare. I could never prepare for this. It's too much. The guy that I was dating remember I said I woke up and the room was like a hologram. And then, right before I started dating that guy, I'd seen him around campus. And I was at work, like I said, I was sitting in the bar area, and this other guy, I'm sorry I keep saying this guy and that guy, I just don't want to give names. The other guy, I don't know how to fix this. I just don't want to say names. The guy that looked identical that had a different hair color. He's sitting in the bar with me with his two friends, and we're watching his TV, and on the TV comes the guy with the red hair, the one that I told you did not look, that none of his friends recognized him. But this was before I dated him, and he was on the TV screen. And I was like, I asked my friend, or this guy that I consider him my friend, the one that I thought was an angel, I asked him, I was like, who is that guy? And he said, oh, he's a soccer player. And the commercial, it was actually a commercial, and it was a soccer commercial. But the really weird thing was that, the really weird thing about it was then after I dated him, I went to his friends, and they didn't even know who I was talking about. And they were sincere. They weren't like, and plus all that other weird stuff. It makes me think that they were experimenting with holograms or something. Anyway, this guy that I asked him if he was an angel, and he said, I'm one of the good guys, or something to that effect. I don't remember exactly what he said, but he was like, he kind of like nodded as if to say yes, and he was like, I'm one of the good guys. Good folk, I'm sorry. He said, I'm one of the good folk. It was kind of weird. That's all weird and disturbing. When I was sitting in there that day, the other thing that came on the TV screen in that room, as weird as this may sound, it's all weird, but was, you know that old alien autopsy video or something like that, where the alien's laying on the table and it looks up at the person and it blinks its eyes? And I don't know if any of you have ever seen that, and I don't know, maybe you never have seen it. Maybe I'm the only person who ever saw it. I don't know. But that was playing on the screen on the TV in that bar area of the restaurant that I worked at. It just came on for like a few, maybe like a minute. It was on and then it was gone. And for some reason, I just like I remember that because I just thought that was really weird. And because he kind of looked at me because I was watching it and I was like really watching it, like wow. And he was looking at me while I was watching that on the TV, so that was kind of weird. But when I was in there, he told me and his two friends. He said, "We're doing a movie, and we're gonna play CIA agents in the movie." And we want to know if you want to be in the movie too. And by that time, they had gotten this other person involved that I was interested in, kind of. Because I was single. I mean, they had gotten him involved. And so I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. And then they were like, look at our fake badges. Look at our fake CIA badges that we got. And they, like, all three of them pulled out these CIA badges and that were supposedly fake CIA badges. And then I was with them on another occasion at a chess tournament game thing, or maybe it wasn't a tournament, it was just a game. This chess place that they were all into chess. And anyway, they start telling me about this fake skin that looks totally real and how you can change the way a person looks with this fake skin. And I was like, what do you mean? I mean, like, they're like, it looks totally real. And I'm like, wait, no, I mean, like, if I was sitting right next to the person just like this, I wouldn't know. And they were like, no, you would not know it was fake skin. It looks totally real. And you can make a person look really, really fat. Or you can, like, shape their face or whatever, any way you want with this fake. It wasn't just fake skin. It's like fake fat, fake skin. And this was like 15 years ago. And so this was before all those movies. Like, now this is standard knowledge. Like, all those movies have come out, you know, Eddie Murphy and the different comedians that have come out with they dress up as a big fat person, and then they've had, like, reality shows where people walk around town in what they call a fat suit. And this is all common knowledge now, but back then it was totally, nobody knew about it.